star Keith Duffy, oh, I like it, to make a documentary about families living with autistic children, and this is part of the documentary. Remember, we were only talking about autism earlier on this week. Sesame Street launched a new character with autism, Julia her name, to reduce the stigma attached to the condition. Do you remember we spoke to a lovely man called Craig from Worcester? His daughter Erin is autistic, and I asked Craig if Erin had a happy life. Here was his answer.
That's a challenge, because she sees everyone around her, especially when she was in mainstream. It's actually a little bit better now. When she was in mainstream, she knew she was different. She hates her brain, is what she says, because she knows it's broken. And you know, she hates not being able to do. She hates her brain because she knows it's broken. Feelings that she has. You know, she's got all the hormones of a 14-year-old, but not the mental capacity to cope with some of the feelings that she has. So she knows all of that. But from a very young age, we decided to protect her self-confidence and self-esteem. When she's not in a bad mood, she's perfectly happy. And now that she's got friends that are like her, she's learning how to do friendship, and it's great to see.
She hates her brain because she knows it's broken. Well, filming for this documentary will take place in the United Kingdom, in America and Jamaica, and Monica and Keith Duffy will look at the difference in how children are treated and cared for in different countries. Monica Price, you might remember the name, you might recall the name, and you might be thinking, she's your nutritionist, so food might have something to do with this documentary as well. I don't know, let's speak to her. Hello.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much, Malcolm, for having me on your show this morning.
It's all right, we don't usually speak
face to face.
I know,
it's so lovely to meet you in person.
It's all right in here, isn't it?
It's very nice. Can I stay? It's lovely.
Well, you can. Barry's set up, he's in the corner.
He's set up there for the rest of the day. He's good.
Yeah.
No, it's great to be here, Malcolm. Thank you.
And it's great to have you here.
Yeah.
Tell me about the documentary.
Well, do you know, it started off, I met this lovely lady called Lena Michaela Niji, who's Jamaican born but lives in New Jersey in America, and she came on my show, Cup of TV, and as one of my guests, and she came to England to promote her book at the time, because she's an author as well. She's an international autism specialist. She goes around the world, and I had her on my show and thought, this lady is just incredible. She just completely blew me away. So off air we got chatting, and I said, look, if ever you want to do a documentary, I just think there's more to this than what we were talking about. So we kept in touch, and then 18 months later, you know, here we are. So from my point of view, Malcolm, as you said, I've worked with autistic children. I work with children who've got autism, ADHD, many sort of serious conditions, and I know that having a good, healthy diet and certain foods can actually benefit children with autism. So that was kind of where my interest was sparked. And then we kind of just got things rolling. We kept in touch, and then I said, you know what, we should do it. And Lena said, yeah, we're going to do it. So here we are, 7th of April. We're just about to fly out, to New Jersey to start the first week of filming, and then from New Jersey we'll be flying to Montego Bay, and we'll be spending 10 days in Jamaica, and then we fly back for the last leg of the filming to the UK, so the last week in April. So it's kind of been an amazing adventure that, now we're here. I can't believe we're actually here, so it's great.
You're on the verge of something amazing, I think. Where does Keith Duffy come into?
Oh, Keith Duffy's been amazing. I mean, for those of you who don't know, but Keith Duffy has an autistic daughter. So when Keith, contacted us and agreed to be, part of this project, it was because he obviously has a great feel and compassion for autistic children, because he has a daughter himself who's now 17. And when we contacted Keith Duffy, of course he's a very busy man at the moment, because he's just joined up with Brian McFadden, and they're just about to go on tour as a band called Boys Life. So Boys Life, it's got to be good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So so it was brilliant. But he had a wonderful conversation with him, and he was just so incredibly supportive. And he said to us, "Look, I don't want any money for this. I want you just to know that I'm fully supportive of what you're doing." And he said, "I'd like to, be interviewed." That was their question. Would you be prepared to be interviewed for the documentary? And he said, "Yes, I would." And then, better still, Malcolm, he said, "Look, I'd actually like to narrate the series." So he's actually going to be the narrator. We're going to be filming 6 shows, and then he will be narrating those shows for us. So it's incredible.
And the purpose of the shows is what? Is it to compare how children with autism are treated in different countries? Is it to show how food, how nutrition helps with autism? Is it both of those things?
Yes, what we're going to do is obviously we're going to be working with families in the UK and the US and Jamaica, and we are going to be looking at exactly that. We're going to be looking at how they're cared for, the effects of autism on the family, because it does have a massive impact on a family, how the different sort of procedures that people have to go through to even get autism diagnosed, Malcolm, is just horrendous in the UK. So, you know, sometimes it can take up to 2 years. So we're going to be looking at that as well. And yes, of course, we're going to be looking at, you know, do people try other diets? Are they looking at other ways, you know, more holistic ways even, to try and sort of help their autistic child? Because autism is a serious lifelong disability condition. It's something that autistic children will grow up to be autistic adults. So early intervention is absolutely essential. So we've got, you know, loads of people who've come on board to help us and support us, which is amazing. And as we travel through on this journey, I think we're going to be maybe surprised, you know, because people assume that America, the care there is going to be amazing. But is it amazing? You know, we don't know. We're just about to find out. And likewise, when we go to Jamaica, is there anything they do differently there? You know, do they treat autism? Is there a stigma about autism? Because there is still a stigma about autism here in the UK.
Yes.
So is that going to be the same when we travel to the other countries?
Although Craig was saying when he got the diagnosis, it was a relief.
Yes.
Because then at least when his daughter was, as he put it, kicking off in a shopping queue, he could turn around and say, my daughter has autism, and people are now starting to realise more about that.
That's
I think
right.
we are learning more, aren't
I think we are. I think we are absolutely right. I think people are tending now to look more at what autism means and what it actually means to that child. For instance, you know, supermarkets are now trying to have, you know, autistic days, where times when parents can just come in.
And cinemas as well.
Cinemas as well. Airlines are doing it as well. But what's been so incredible, Malcolm, is since we started this project, is the support we've had in all of the 3 countries. And when we've got the UK National Advisor to the government on health and well-being, William Montgomery, he's going to be interviewed for this documentary. When we go to Jamaica, we've got the Minister of Education and the Minister of Culture, who's also going to be, you know, helping us. So isn't it wonderful that people, you know, quite high up in the government and, you know, who work with the government are prepared to say, do you know what, I think we need to talk about this. And I think that's the most important thing for me, because I'll be producing and presenting this. It's let's have this discussion.
Yes.
Most autistic films and documentaries are all quite dark and quite gloomy. I don't want to do that. I want to take a look at it and say, look, how much beauty autistic children bring to the family, because I know, because I'm seeing it firsthand, and it's completely affected me and how I view, you know, autistic children, autistic adults, because they're just misunderstood. And Lena has got a great way she puts it. She says, then autistic children aren't disabled, they're just differently abled. And I think that just really just sums it up.
It's big in the news this week with Sesame Street.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, how amazing is that?
It's great,
you know,
isn't it?
I mean, that I think that just shows, you know, that people are, you know, looking at how people perceive autism, and, you know, mental health is a massive issue here in the UK, and I'm sure it's the same when we go to America and Jamaica. And, you know, people are actually, the stigma has got to go, Malcolm. We've got to get rid of this stigma. Just because you're different, that doesn't mean that it's bad or wrong.
Well, we wish you well.
Thank you so much.
Bon voyage on what will be an amazing adventure.
Yes, we will. We fly it on the 7th, so it's very exciting.
And when the documentary is finished and made, will we be able to see it on these shores?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, the pilot will be shown at Latest TV in Brighton, which is where I've got my show, and then we're discussing with other, you know, major television networks for it to be aired as well. And we've got the national media, which have been amazing as well. So they're all looking at what we're doing, which is great.
Well, I think it should be aired. I think it needs to be aired. And so when you come back, will you come and see us again?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Will you come and see us again, Barry?
I'm stopping.
Oh, he's stopping. Barry, the cameraman. I hope you're taking him with you.
Yes, he's coming.
He's going.
Yeah.
He's going. Listen, Monica, good luck with it.
Thank you so much, Malcolm.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Well done.